Hello, my name is Robert Melanson. Today we're going to be talking about life extension technology, also known as the transhumanist agenda or post-human sciences. Post-human is after humans. It's a broad subject that I'm going to condense, and it may seem like science fiction, but it's not that far away. It's a movement that affirms the possibility and desirability of fundamentally transforming the human condition by developing and making widely available technologies to eliminate aging and to greatly enhance human intellectual, physical, and psychological capabilities. It's the next step in evolution. As you can see in the picture, we have a post-human entity, some sort of man-machine or non-biological. Deals with many different fields, includes the following areas: a convergence of nanotechnology, genetics, biology, pharmaceuticals, information, cybernetics, and robotics. Nanological would be similar to microscopic swarm machines in the bloodstream, info, cybernetics, and computer systems. Basic principles involves cloning and transferring consciousness, sophisticated machines, molecular organizing quantum computers that could replicate the synapses in the brain, for example, microchips in the brain, and brain preservation. Transferring consciousness between two biological organisms, such as a clone, or into a computer, whether it be a cyborg or a cloud computing or artificial intelligence. It's a technology growing at an exponential rate. Computers and microprocessors rapidly becoming faster, more powerful, smaller, and less expensive. You can see that 99% of our existence as human beings, not Neanderthals, we had been nomadic hunter-gatherers. You know that in a regular flip phone is more powerful than a computer that was used in the lunar landing, and that's not a smartphone. That was the regular phones, the cell phones that they came out with. So what is the next event? Is it the integration of humans and machines? That would be Moore's law, that talks about that exponentially rapidly growing rate of how powerful technology is becoming and less expensive. The principles and the practical applications of this matter is here's some instances that you see as major pharmaceuticals developing pills for anti-aging or increasing the IQ. What would to happen if there was a pill, for example, that could increase the lifespan for 20 years, or let's say the intelligence quotient of a kindergarten for 20 points. Would that be an unfair advantage? Intel, there was rumors that are developing a computer that can process brain waves and read your mind using synthetics and genetic manipulation to harvest organs. And government agencies developing technology so advanced it's classified. Bionic military super soldiers and the CIA, genetic codes, and the predisposition to deny insurance for a pre-existing condition if you were able to somehow crack the DNA code and see if someone were to have a disease already predisposed to. Growing cartilage, for example. Here we have some ethical dilemmas and legal ramifications at what we must take into account. The specific focus on technological approaches to resolve the human concerns, and this is what science and technology should be used for, is to eliminate poverty, provide alternative energy in a clean environment, educate, and a better way of life and standard of living. Now, what happens when these powers are used irresponsibly or narcissistically? This would be the business aspect of the presentation, and I will cite The Island. It's a 2005 movie where Merit Corporation secretly incubates clones gathers a high-profile clientele secretly for organ replacement, and then the clone is discarded afterward because that these organs could not be incubated or grown outside of a living organism that was moving around. The stakeholders were wealthy people, businessmen, and superstar athletes. The clone surrogate's mother, there was a scene where it had a heart transplant. And does a clone have a soul? If you want to bring a religious aspect into this was the premise of the movie. Now, is there an elite agenda going on with this? Did Steve Jobs receive preferential treatment for his liver? Because there are waiting lists. And did he use his influence and clout to acquire his liver that he needed for a transplant? Is there an elite transhumanist agenda or conspiracy going on? And we know that in popular culture nowadays is inundated with these themes in movies and music and futurology. Now there's critics of life extension technology and transhumanism, and it could be said it is the world's most dangerous idea ever. It's a fundamental alteration of human nature. It leads to hierarchies and new mechanisms of control, would result in totalitarianism, and it's a threat to democracy. Now that would be the critical aspect of it, because in essence it would create a two-tier society. You would have a class of immortals, beings oppressing people who don't necessarily have access or are unable to afford such a technology. It would be a technocratic society. Personally, I am for the following: the slowing down or the reversing the process of aging, using biomedical or robotics and human integration with machines. Experimentation in these fields may cure or prevent disease and increase the lifespan, the average lifespan, if that individual chooses. This concludes my presentation.